What is the best letter of the alphabet? So, not for the first time, I've started off with a very vague question which needs explaining. What we're going to be finding out today is which letter of the alphabet do the best players' surnames begin with. So I've created a team for each letter of the alphabet, and I've placed the best players from each letter into those teams, with the exception of the letter Q and the letter X, as there isn't enough players from either of those letters to create a full team. There was actually for Q, but there weren't any goalkeepers, so FIFA wouldn't let me create a team, and X was nowhere near enough anyway. One thing to clarify before we get started, when I say surname, it's not their actual surname. For example, someone like Allison, his surname is Becker, but on FIFA he's down as just Allison, so he's in the A team. And that is how this is going to work. Every player is with the team in which their surname in FIFA begins with. So another example would be Son Heung-min, who is down as Heung-min Son on FIFA, so he's going to be in the S team. Everything clear? I hope so. Starting with the A team. All of these teams are placed on a completely random team, starting with that letter. In the case of A, it's with Arsenal, and this is a very strong team all the way through. Plenty of goals guaranteed for sure, with front three of Aubameyang, Aguero and Aspas. Very creative midfield as well, with Alberto, Alan and Arthur, and a strong back four with Alisson just behind, and pretty decent replacements as well. The B team is Bologna, again pretty strong throughout, not quite as strong as the A team I don't believe, but not too far behind either. Then we have the C team, which is Cork City, once again strong all the way throughout. A great midfield is the highlight of this team, and with Courtois in goal, they should be keeping a few clean sheets. Replacements are pretty strong also. The D team is, and excuse my butchered English pronunciation, Denizlispor, and this may well be the best team we've seen so far. The A team runs it close, but with a midfield of De Jong, Dybala and De Bruyne, a very strong creative force in the heart of midfield. De Vrij and De Ligt in front of De Gea as well, so strong at the back, and some strong replacements also. The E team is Estudiantes, and this is definitely the weakest team we have seen so far. Most of the starting lineup is under 80 rated, with the exception of El Shaarawy, Eriksson, Evans and Edison, so I'm almost certain this team will finish in the bottom half, as the replacements are pretty weak as well. The F team is Feyenoord, and it's a pretty decent team, some great players such as Firmino, Fernandes, Fabinho, but probably not as strong all round as some of the previous teams that we've seen. The G team is Guangzhou Evergrande, and this is another very strong side. Every player rated roughly around the mid-80 mark, with Griezmann the standout player. Some pretty decent replacements as well. The H team is Hearts, fronted by the Hazard brothers, with Higuain in between them. A strong midfield and a strong defence also, with Handanovic in goal. A good starting lineup, but the reserves slightly let them down. The I team is Incheon United, and although there are some great players in this team, such as Insigne, Immobile and Isco, of course not forgetting Iniesta, this team really struggles for depth, and the best goalkeeper is 71 rated, so very poor there. They do have great depth in the striking options, with Icardi and Ibrahimovic as backups though. The J team is Jagiellonia, and it's another team that's going to be hanging around the bottom half. Jorginho is their best player at 84 rated, and the entire defence is all in the 70s, and it's the same story looking through the reserves as well. The K team is Kaiser Chiefs, and I predict a riot with this team. What are you booing me for? Come on! Plenty of goals assured with Harry Kane up front, and a strong midfield just behind him, spearheaded by Toni Kroos and N'Golo Kante, with a strong back four also. The only problem with this starting lineup is they have Kepa in goal, who couldn't catch a virus in the centre of Wuhan. To make matters worse, the backup goalkeeper for them is Loris Karius, who has a similar problem. Good strength in the midfield reserves though, and also in defence. The L team is Lillestrøm, and they have arguably the best striker in the world at the moment in Lewandowski, and are strong at the back also with Lloris, Longley and Laporte, but everyone in between them is pretty average. It's the same story on the bench and in the reserves as well, as the backup goalkeepers and strikers are the highlights. The M team is Montpellier, and this is most probably the best team that we have seen so far. A front three of Sadio Mane, Kylian Mbappe and Lionel Messi, surely guaranteed to score goals for fun, especially when they have Thomas Muller, Luka Modric and Sergej Milinkovic-Savic to assist them. Pretty strong at the back also, and so much quality on the bench and in the reserves. The N team is Necaxa, and star player Neymar may have to carry this team as there aren't many other standout players. The midfield is pretty good though, and Manuel Neuer in goal should help out, but not the strongest replacements. The O team is Östersunds, and it's another pretty weak team. They'll be relying on Oblak to keep quite a few clean sheets, I imagine, and at least if he gets injured, they have Onana as a backup. The P team is Panathinaikos, and this is one of the strongest midfields we've seen so far. They're just lacking some better quality players around them to help them out. It's a similar story going throughout the team, as the midfield is the strongest part. As I said before, there's no Q team, so the R team is Rio Ave, who are guaranteed goals from Ronaldo at least, and it's a pretty strong team to back him up. Quality all the way through the starting lineup and into the replacements. The S team is Sydney FC, and I'm going to make the prediction that this is the team that is going to win it. A front three of Sterling, Suarez and Salah, backed up by the two Silvers and Saul, and a strong back four also in front of Szczesny. But where this team really shines is in the replacements, having the option to bring on Son, Sane, Sancho or Sabitzer, who could all possibly make the starting lineup of most of the other teams, and with Jan Sommer as the backup goalkeeper, definitely strong throughout the squad here. The T team is Toronto, and quite a disappointing team here for them. Ter Stegen the standout player in goal, the only real creative force in this team coming from Thiago and Alex Telles, and not the strongest replacements either. The U team is Union Berlin, and this is definitely the weakest team we've seen so far, with the exception of Umtiti. All players in this squad 80 rated or lower, and it only gets worse as you go throughout the squad. The V team is Villarreal, and it's a very strong starting lineup, particularly in the midfield and at the back. A very strong core of this team, a centre-back partnership of Varane and Van Dijk, sure to keep many players out. A bit lacklustre with the replacements though. The W team is Wolfsberger, and it's a bit of a mixed bag in this team. You have some great players in the form of Timo Werner, Gini Wijnaldum, Axel Witsel, but then Danny Ward is the best goalkeeper that they have, and the defence isn't the best either, and it doesn't get much better as you go through the rest of the team. There's no X team, so the Y team is Yokohama, and this team may be even worse than the U team. Every single player 80 rated or less, and pretty poor replacements as well. I have a bad feeling about this team, but maybe help them, Yoda will. And finally the Z team, and I apologise for the pronunciation once again, is Zulte Waregem. And it's actually a surprisingly good team, with Ziyech, Zapata and Zaha up front. The quality tapers off as you go further back though, and the replacements are all pretty much in the 70s, so not the best team by a long shot, but definitely not the worst. But that is the 24 teams that are going to be competing, so let's go ahead and sim forward to the end of the season to see which teams do well, and the top two teams at the end will be playing against each other in the live match. So at the end of the season now, let's take a look at the top scorers, and no team really stands out here. It's a complete mix of a lot of the teams. We have Luis Suarez out in front with 29 goals for the S team. Aguero's second with 28 for the A team. Griezmann in third with 25 for the G team. Memphis Depay in fourth with 24 for the D team. And in fifth is Sadio Mane with 23 for the M team. It's a similar story in assists. One of the Hazards, I'm not sure which one, probably Eden, finished top with 12 assists for the H team. Griezmann second with 11 for the G team. and then a whole host of other players in third, all with 10. And in clean sheets it was Muslera who was preferred over Mandanda in this simulation apparently, getting 17 clean sheets, ahead of ter Stegen with 16 in second, Alisson with 14 in third, De Gea got 13 in fourth, and Sommer with 12 in fifth, seemingly preferred over Szczesny in this simulation. So starting at the bottom of the table, and I was simming forward as the U and the Y team because I thought they were the two worst teams, but it is actually the W team that has come in last place. So that's a surprising one to start us off with. Then it is the Y team and the U team tied on points in 23rd and 22nd. Then there's a 7-point jump up to the Z team in 21st. I have to go another 5 points to get to the I team in 20th. Then it's a huge jump up to 19th place where we find the J team who have 45 points. Then we have the E team with 50 points in 18th and the F team also with 50 points in 17th. Then there's a 10-point jump up to the K team in 16th place. So again, no silverware for Harry Kane in this simulation. Just 1 point ahead of them is the G team in 15th. So despite all those goals and assists from Antoine Griezmann, it seems the rest of his team didn't help him out. Also on 61 points we have the P team. And then on 62 points in 13th place we have the V team. Up to 12th now where we find the B team on 68 points. In 11th we have the N team with 70. Heading into the top 10 now we have the O team with 76. Seemingly helped out a lot there by having Oblak in goal. In 9th we have the C team with 77 points. The L team is in 8th with 81. The D team with that amazing midfield of De Bruyne, De Jong and Dybala only managed 7th, getting 84 points. Ronaldo's R team only managed 6th, getting 87 points. The T team, who I didn't think was anything special, have actually managed to overachieve here, getting 5th place with 88 points. It's a big jump up now to 4th place where we find the H team on 96 points. And once again my prediction has been wrong, as the team that I thought would win this, the S team, have only finished 3rd. So the team with Sterling, Suarez, Salah, the Silvers, Son, Sancho, Sane, etc, etc, they have only managed to finish 3rd with 105 points. So in 2nd we find the M team with 108 points. They managed to score 105 goals in the 46 games, only conceding 39. That was the team with Mane, Mbappe, Messi, Modric, so no surprise to see them in the top 2, which means it's the A team who are actually runaway leaders, 9 points ahead of the rest. The team led by Aubameyang and Aguero have come out on top here, not scoring as many goals as the M team, but having a better defensive record, and only losing 1 game in the entire season, which we can actually see on the right there was to the M team. So let's go ahead and jump into the live match now, where it's going to be the A team up against the M team. And here we are, it's time for the live match now. We have the A team up against the M team. Will it be Aguero and Aubameyang, or will it be Messi and Mbappe? Let's find out. It's a free kick here now for the M team, Messi to take. Tries to play it towards the far post, and it's coming back across to Mbappe, who slides the ball into the bottom corner. It was looking like the free kick was going to be too heavy at first, but it came back across to Kylian Mbappe, who was the quickest to react to the ball and managed to get a foot to it to guide it into the bottom right corner. And it is the A team 0, the M team 1. Luka Modric on the ball now, back to Mane. Mane still with the ball. Plays it back to Marcelo. Inside with Modric now. Modric with a long range shot. And it's curled into the top corner. And after 28 minutes, we already have a second goal for the M team. It all started with Sadio Mane down that left hand side. He was backed into a corner though and had to play it back to Marcelo, who laid it inside to Modric. And it was a speculative effort, but it made it to the top corner and there was no chance for Alisson there. And it's 2-0. It's inside with Mbappe now. The M team really enjoying themselves as Milinkovic-Savic has the ball. Comes back inside, tries a shot, but it's deflected off a defender. Alan to Luis Alberto. Inside to Artur. Forward to Sergio Aguero. Now with Aspas, but he's offside. Perhaps Aguero should have taken the shot on himself rather than laying it off. Here's Artur. Long ball to find Aspas. Aspas inside to Aguero now. Gets it back. Nowhere to go really. Has to play it back to Alexander-Arnold. Forward with Aguero once more. Back to Aspas. Crosses it towards Aubameyang. Now with Aguero. And Mandanda gets down well to gather that ball. Asensio plays it inside to Aguero. Now with Alan. Back out wide with Asensio. Lays it off for Alexander-Arnold. Then gets it back. Flicks it through to Aguero. Aguero back to Asensio with the shot. And it's a good save from Mandanda. It's a poor pass from Mandanda and Aguero has it now. Now with Aubameyang. Tries a shot, but he is blocked off by Marquinhos. Looked dangerous there for a moment for the M team, but a chance for them to clear it now, which they do, and that could be the last moment in the game, and it is, as the full-time whistle goes. It was 2 goals in the first half hour that sealed it for the M team, and despite the A team doing so well in the simulation, they didn't really have any chances in this game. And it has finished 2-0 to the M team. But credit to the A team, they did well in the simulation. They only lost 1 game in that and dominated the league. So if your surname begins with an A or an M and you're looking to become a professional footballer, FIFA seems to think your chances are pretty high. But if you enjoyed the video, go ahead and hit the like button, slap the cursor where it says subscribe, and I'll see you next time.